Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Suttin from Odyssey Madison, and I'm lucky enough to welcome the one and only Teddy Swims to our town.
Oh, thank you,
Teddy,
buddy.
welcome to Madison.
Yes,
So glad you're here. All right, let's get started. Let's go way back for a minute if we can. You're from Georgia. Football is life in Georgia.
Yeah,
right?
it certainly was.
And you did football.
For most of my life, yeah, until I was about maybe 16 or 17, I did, and got into theater, and it really changed my life. Though.
Well, so that's the question. You go from, football. What position did you play?
I was a defensive tackle and offensive guard.
All right. So then you start doing musicals and stuff in high school. How'd you make that transition? And what'd your family say?
My best pal, Jesse, that's in there right now, he still plays guitar for me. His sister kind of got us in the theater, and I just fell in love with it. We were trying to, get into music and stuff. And my mom, I remember when I told my mom that I wasn't going to do music anymore. I mean, I was going to play football anymore. And she just cried. She started pulling out all these old memorabilia of my stuff, like little, just magnets she had made from when I was like 10, like little trophies, everything, all these pictures, everything. And she's like, why would you do this? We're a football family. Why would you do this to us? And sure enough, we just not too, later on, she came to see my show, and I think we were doing Damn Yankees at the time as this musical, and I think I played maybe two lines I had in the whole show.
Yeah.
And, as soon as she saw me do my little two lines, her whole mind was changed. She's like, I'm so sorry, baby. This is where you belong.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Good thing is like, if I break my leg doing this, my whole family's not absolutely screwed.
Right, exactly. No kidding. So, and you did like Rent, right?
Yeah. Me and my best buddy Jesse, he played Mark in there, and I played Roger in that show.
So, should we do some Rent right now?
Oh man, I could do that whole show like top to bottom and play every character. And I love that show, man. I love it.
Shakespeare, is that true?
Yeah. We did a Much Ado About Nothing, and then it was like an abridged version of Shakespeare. It's like kind of a comedy show too.
Yeah.
Much Ado About Nothing, I played Dogsbury in that one, and I love Shakespeare though. I loved it. I had a blast.
That is awesome. So then, did you think like, okay, I've got the acting bug. Like I want to be an actor, or was it really more singing?
I always wanted. I mean, I was in everything. Whether it was musicals and straight plays, I was in everything. I think my senior year, I did maybe 10 plays or something. I was in everything. That was all I was doing. And of course, I still want to scratch the acting bug eventually. But as far as this goes, I love playing with my friends and being in a band, and I think now what I've done to myself is I've kind of narrowed myself down to very specific roles, like drug dealer or like prison inmate or like, what I mean. There's not too much I could do. Maybe kitchen worker or something. I don't know.
Maybe they'll call you for the bear, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That'd be sick.
So then, speaking of bear, you had a band, Heroic Bear.
Yeah, sure. My first ever band, I was a senior in high school, and you can still find the YouTube, our first ever EP that was on YouTube still on Heroic Bear. It's called I'm the Artist, and it's so bad. We were trash.
But so then, how did you know to sing then? I mean, if you sang in high school and then you kind of had this band, you just couldn't find your voice yet, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I still love metal. We still scratch that itch all the time, but
yeah.
I think it took some level of like delusion though throughout the time to like really think you were awesome, and people were telling me I was great, and I don't know why they would tell me that. Now I look back, I'm like, God, you were so bad. But I think that level of delusion, that wanting it so bad, and no matter what it was, if it was in a rock band, if it was in a metal band, whatever it was, if I was making hip hop songs, whatever, it's just as long as I could be using this, that's all that I cared about. I just wanted to be making music, and my favorite thing in the world.
Which is fantastic, and you're doing it. So then here you are, you cover Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You did that because you were. Why was the?
Well, so it was 10 years from when he passed. June 25th of 2019. We had found like the stems online, and it was so cool. And I was just like, let's record this and put it out on the internet just to say like, happy. I don't want to say happy death day, but
how do you recognize it? Yeah. Celebrating his life.
Yeah, celebrating his life. Thank you. Happy death day is dark. Yeah. It's celebrating his life. Celebrating his life, and and then we like. It was in a couple days. It had like 10,000 views on it, and it just kept going. And I think there was like a weird part of it when it started going viral originally on Facebook. It was like people. I think people once it hit like a certain amount of views, like maybe once it got to like 500,000, I think people were just like, either this is really good or this is really funny, and they started clicking, and turns out it was probably both, and it just.
But I mean, I'm thinking about how wonderful and cruel the internet could be, and so when those numbers started going up, I mean, you had to what kind of feeling was that to get that kind of response?
Man, well,
I mean, like
our first 10,000, we were just like, boys, we're getting hammered, yeah, dude. You know, and now I feel like there's such a what's the word I'm looking for? Diminished returns.
Yeah,
you know? Like, because if now something I don't do doesn't get 1 million on it, I'm like, oh, I'm so washed up, you know. But back then it was like we're getting absolutely a ham damn sandwich if we get 10,000 views. And so I mean I think it was such a beautiful like time to I think it really helped me in growing, you know, and we kept on doing covers from them. Me and the band would just always keep writing these covers, or we were reflipping these covers or whatever, and I just kept doing it once a week, every Tuesday, and it just started piling up. Next thing you know, we're at 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and the biggest thing, the Shania Twain one, I still play today too. It's dedicated to my mother, and I think it's at like 180 something million views or something on YouTube. It's insane,
and it's beautiful. And I have to say, you're bold, because the first time I heard, wait, he's covering that song from Shania? All right, let me see it. I'm like, holy crap, you know, because she did it so well. But you,
she's
I mean,
amazing.
it takes a lot of guts to do one that's really good and then do it yourself and make it your own, which you did, which is incredible.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Like I had this fear of, you know, originally when I started kind of transitioning to my own music, I was always kind of fearful that there was going to be they were never going to be as good as that, you know, or they were never going to be as good as like some of the best songs ever written. I felt like I had put a wall up against myself in that way, and I think it was hard for me at first to really like, how am I ever going to write something that good, you know? And
but you have,
you know.
And is it like lightning in a bottle when you're writing stuff, or you're dragging it out?
You know, sometimes I always try my best to just never think about stuff. You know, I find that you know, the more not to overthink things, you know, because the more you pick at something because you want it to be good, that doesn't make you get the good song, you know. If you're ever trying to get the good song, where you're like, anytime you're ever like, this might be a little too much this, or is this too country, or is this too much of this, then you start getting in the way of the creative act here, and so I just try to flow as freely as possible, and just, you know, kind of Ouija board as I go, and I think you can't, you're not always going to write the good ones, you know. You're just only going to hear the good ones from me. I've got some terrible songs, you know what I mean? And sometimes you're just so gung-ho about it, like, this is the best song ever, and then tomorrow it's like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so then I know we don't have that much time, so I feel like I could talk to you for like an hour,
buddy.
And it just flows. But then you do the music, then you get to, you know, record labels call, and then you're doing that. Like, that, it took you a long time to get there, but then it seems like once it started getting traction, all of a sudden, boom, there you are.
Yeah, it was within 6 months. Man.
Yeah. So what was that like? I mean, did you think it was prank call? Like, how did that?
Dude, well, we started talking to everybody at the time, and I remember my manager, Luke, he's still my best buddy. We were flying to like L.A. and New York and stuff, and we were trying to pretend at the time like we had this YouTube business that was paying us all this money, you know, and that we didn't need anything from them. And so, like, you know, to try to get the best deal. And some of us were sleeping on the floors, or like we're sleeping at, you know, Luke's sister's house on the floor, and saying like, oh no, we got our own hotels, don't you worry, like to try not to let the label, you know, kind of talk us into it. And we're even trying to pay for
the
dinner.
Dave?
Yeah,
the record down there.
Yeah, and it really paid off in the long run though too. So we were just trying to, I guess, hardball, you know.
Yeah, but that's hard to do, to have the cojones to do that.
Yeah,
man.
we were broke as hell, dude. We was really down bad. But I mean, look at it, it's happening. It's beautiful now.
Yeah, it's amazing. So 2 more things. One, I've heard that you are just like a human canvas, that you let tattoo artists do whatever they want.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yeah, sure do. I'm so lucky. They hit me up on Instagram all the time, and I just have them. You know, you can see little where people sign all over my body. I got just signatures, and you know, they're just where people almost stomp it everywhere. You know,
but like the big ones, did you pick those, or you're just like go crazy?
I think for me it was always what I see some of these amazing tattoo artists, especially they're you know, renowned tattoo artists that'll hit me up, and there's always like nobody, just like with cover songs. Again, I love doing my cover songs. I love singing cover songs, but I remember when I was trying to transition into my own music, and I just felt like sometimes people were just like, "Shut up and sing Shania Twain, fat boy." You know what I mean? And there's I know that there's like with a lot of tattoo artists, there's always something that they drew up or that they really want to tattoo, you know, but instead they're just. Some girl's bringing an Etsy picture in and just puts blessed under her boobie one more time, and they're just like, come on, can I just do the stuff I love, you know? Yeah. And so I think you just always get the best out of an artist when they get to
To
do
be
what
free.
they love. Yeah.
I agree. Do you have a Mr. Rogers down
I
there?
sure do, yeah.
Okay, I thought so because I was looking at a video. I'm like, is that Mr. Rogers? So did someone just do that, or you asked for Mr. Rogers?
I'm asking for Mr. Rogers. So this guy tattoos by Randy in Atlanta. He's one of the best tattoo artists in the freaking
Randy
world.
in Atlanta.
Yeah, tattoos by Randy.
Okay.
Look him up. He's just incredible. Man, I call him my uncle Randy. Man, he's the best guy in the world. And he's as I was growing up, I had a Pentecostal granddad as a pastor, so when I was staying over at my grandparents' house, there's really not much you can watch other than Mr. Rogers
Sure.
and art. The PBS is all
Yeah.
you're getting, you know what I mean? Even Nickelodeon was like, no, bro. So he just taught me so much about emotional, understanding and emotional intelligence, and I just what do you do with the mad you feel, and he just really helped me as a sensitive little boy. He's really touched my heart in so many ways.
I agree, and I feel like through this whole ride, you're really present. Of artists that I meet, they'll kind of just come in and come out, or they're cocky. I feel like you're confident, but you're not cocky. You know what you have, and you're enjoying every second.
Oh, absolutely. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm trying to be as present as possible. You know, I got a piece of advice one time that said, the most important person in the world is, and it's you, and it's every person that you come in contact with. You just try to make sure if it's 10 seconds, 10 years, 20, a whole lifetime, you want to make sure you're present with people. And I believe that God has placed me right where I need to be right now, and I try to live exactly in that way as much as I possibly can. And I mean, it's a lot better to be present than be just
go.
Right,
we're planning the next thing and not enjoying the moment. So
there's people that plan shit now, so I'm just wherever I'm supposed to be.
God laughs while man makes plans.
Yeah.
And just final thing, not to be morbid, but we talked about the death thing. I think maybe you know this probably, but about a mile from here is where Otis Redding's plane crashed.
Oh, whoa!
So he
I
died,
did not know that.
Yeah. He died right behind us here, a mile away in Lake Monona. And I know you're an Otis
he's my
guy,
number
right?
one ever of all time.
Yeah.
He's my number one singer, man. He's like done everything for me, and I had no idea I was here.
Yeah.
Right here
So
in
when you're
Madison.
singing tonight, he was just like a mile away.
That's crazy. He was 26, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Well, Teddy, you're awesome.
Yeah,
Love
man.
being here in the
Yeah,
moment with
man,
you.
me
Have
too.
a great show tonight.
Yes, sir.
And thank you. It's Teddy Swims, everybody. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Really good.
Appreciate that.